tot comença i tot s'acaba.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm a little bit out of practice because even though it looks like I've been putting out videos consistently, I actually haven't sat down and talked to the camera since July, I'm pretty sure, and we're almost done in October. And I'm not even sure what this is going to be. I know I've been filming a little bit of clips here and there in my life, but I haven't really thought out of a plan. So I thought I would just come up with a little bit of an update, because if you've been keeping up with my videos, you would know that I've been traveling a lot and I have more travels to come. So I've just been very busy and I haven't been reading the most, but I do want to talk about the books that I have read, because some of them were amazing and they were so good. Also, just because I miss talking to the camera and miss talking about books. I haven't been reading that much, even though I really wanted to, especially because I went to China and that was a long flight and that was a long trip and I had a lot of train rides in the middle of it as well. My Kindle decided to break the second day of my trip, so I couldn't actually read that much, which was annoying. I did read one book, but like it's a little romance that was, I gave it 3 stars or something like that, so not really important. I did read Ninth House when I got back from China, and I absolutely loved this so much. This lives up to the hype. I don't know if it has good hype or not hype. I know it's like popular. I know people talk about it. I know it's a staple in the dark academia genre, and it was a great kind of like book to transition from August to September for me, because it's like the start of the year as well in this book as well. Kind of, not really actually. She's going into summer. And I did start it at the beginnings of summer. Because like I know I filmed a little bit of me reading it while I was on my trip to Venice. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars because I absolutely loved it. Like I genuinely loved it. It took me so much by surprise because I just gotten out of reading The Grishaverse, which I've been reading for like most of the year. And this is obviously very different because it's an adult fantasy dark academia book. I really like this. I absolutely adored all the characters. They were also complex, especially Alex. She's so different to all the characters that I've met before, basically. Like she wasn't nice all the time, but she wasn't mean all the time. She's just so different. She was just so compelling to read about, and like I wanted to know her thoughts. And I love a good story with a romance in it, but this one didn't have that much of a romance at the beginning, so, and it kept me compelled. So like it was a good book. I really enjoyed it. If you did not know, this follows Alex Stern, who gets accepted into Yale, even though she's not conventionally what would get accepted into Yale, but she gets accepted because she is going to be joining a part of a society called Ninth House. That society is used to kind of keep an eye on all of the other societies in Yale who do. Yeah, it kind of goes on from there. It's like the murder mystery. There's dual POVs and there's dual timelines. So it's all very interesting. It's all very good. I really enjoyed it. I honestly, like I was so surprised. I kept wanting to go back to it. But I knew that I couldn't give it my full attention while I was away on a trip. So it took me a while to get through it. But when I did, I really enjoyed it. And then I also followed up with sequels. So I'm going to be getting that soon, is Hellbent. This one we focus a lot more. I don't think I liked it as much as the first one, as Hellbent, but I did really enjoy it as well. Like I love Darlington, okay? Like I have nothing against Darlington. I loved how that relationship kind of is developing. I loved how it got a lot more fantastical, and it kind of reminds me of the plot of Cats and Buses, if you know, you know. By R.F. Kuang. I haven't read that book either, but like similar premise kind of. So I was not expecting that, and I was very interested in that. And overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it as a book. I love all the characters in it. I have such a fun time reading about what they get up to and how they try to kind of solve their own issues. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I went to Germany, and before I went to Germany for the Oktoberfest, I will have a vlog coming up for that at some point, but that will be very short because I was there with family. So it was a bit more, I didn't have that much to like film or anything. And I was also working while I was there, so that's not the same. But still, before I left there, I really wanted to finish this book. And this book took me by complete surprise, and it is also a Leigh Bardugo book, and that is The Familiar. Can we just like take a minute? Because I absolutely adored this book. This one we follow, what was her name? I know I said I adored it, but I don't remember. We follow Luisa, this is set during Spain, during, I want to say the Spanish Inquisition, but it's not really that. It's more like the Catholic King's reign, and they were basically telling everyone, or you can either convert to Catholicism or you can leave the country. So a lot of people were either being like hiding their religion or were like leaving the country, otherwise you would be brought to jail and like trial and blah blah blah. So it wasn't a fun time for anyone who wasn't Catholic. And that is what happens to Luisa Cortado, who is a Jew in hiding basically. And she has little magic abilities, and she catches the eye of her basically mistress because she's a servant. Mistress wants to take advantage of the fact that she's got a little magic person to help her standing in society. So it's all very interesting. It took a few turns. What people say about vampires, I mean, it does kind of have that element, but not exactly. Like, don't go into it expecting vampires is what I would say. Which, because I knew that, I didn't expect vampires, and I didn't get any vampires, which was good. But you do get something like vampires, and I adored that relationship. Like, Luisa meets someone to help her out with the powers. That is one of my favorite dynamics. I absolutely ate up the romance in this, and it wasn't like, it was so good. Like, I had so much fun reading this, and it was one of those books where I started off with the audiobook because it was a little bit slow, and I had been struggling to get back into reading the way I used to this year, just because I've been very busy more than anything, not because I've been in the slump or anything. And audiobooks help me just to kind of like, okay, I want to read, but like I don't have time. The audiobook's really good, by the way, but I started the audiobook and it got so interesting and so good that I actually like picked it up and wanted to read it physically all the time. And I did, and that was like, it had been a while since I'd read a book physically completely without the audiobook for a while, just because I don't have the time and I always feel like I'm not reading quick enough, which is like my own problem with it. But I love this so much. This is probably gonna be my favorite book of the year. Like, I absolutely adored it. You heard it here first. I love this so much. I could just reread it again. And this was a great book for like gothy era. Like, I do live in Spain, so that was also very interesting. Seeing her speak Spanish was weird. She's got this weird Spanish that she's using also in Ninth House, so that was kind of fun to see. But it's like a weird Spanish, and I'm not 100% sure where she gets it from. But it was still fun. 5 stars all around. My roommate walked in, so we have to kind of change setting. And this is like so bad quality. I'm so sorry. I'm filming on my iPad because my phone is even worse quality, so yay. But I do want to talk about the books that I have been reading, which is that I have started and I'm almost finished with the Three Dark Crowns books. These were really popular back in the day, and I've just been slowly reading them. So I read The Queens of Fenburn, which is a little novella. I don't know, it came publication-wise, it was a lot afterwards. But I read it because chronologically it goes in before, but it does contain kind of a lot of spoilers for the next few books. But honestly, I don't mind spoilers. I was just kind of like there because I like to read everything chronologically. So I read that, and that was okay. I gave it like 3 stars. It was okay. Then I read Three Dark Crowns, and this book has been on my TBR for legit years, like since it came out, honestly. But I've had this on my shelves for a long time, since it came out, and since it became such a like darling. Everyone really liked it. And what I know about the series is that it was very hyped. This one was the first one, and then it kind of like slowly died down, even though more books kept coming out, but like the hype died down with it. I didn't really hear anyone talk about the next 3 books as much. But basically this is set in like a fantasy world where triplet queens are born, and they're separated once they're like 6 years old or something, and they're each raised separately, and then there's 1 year where they all have to like fight to the death for the crown. And it's just like set on this island, and they all have powers and blah blah blah, and then there's a lot of scheming and politics and like, do I really want to kill my sisters, that kind of thing. And honestly, the first book I really did enjoy, although I do think there was a lot of setup, and I feel like this one and the second book could have just been one book, but I feel like it was separated because they wanted to sell more books, if that makes any sense, because there's like a lot of setup, and then only the interesting part happens like in the last, I don't know, 20 pages or something like that. That's what it feels like, and they're honestly very easy to read. So I do enjoy Kendara Blake's writing, so I am interested in seeing like how the story goes. So I gave this one 4 stars, and then the next one, which is One Dark Throne, I don't own it physically. I will grab a copy at some point. I read One Dark Throne, and I've also read Two Dark Reigns. This one I literally finished yesterday morning. This was also like 3 stars. The next 2 would just get 3 stars from me because yes, the plot does progress, but it's kind of not as interesting. Like I don't know, I feel like it's not as interesting as the original setup of it was, and obviously like the world's expanding and stuff. Like my enjoyment level, it's like it's a good YA kind of book, but it doesn't really have me hooked enough. But I'm curious to see what happens and like how it ends. But I do not think it's like the best anymore. Like I never thought it was, but I think it's like going kind of downhill. And then now currently I'm reading Five Dark Fates, which is the last one, and I have read 145 pages, so I'm like this much of the way through. I've been listening to the audiobooks because I've gotten back into audiobooks finally, just because they're a lot, like I can concentrate more. And this one's chunkier, like this one's definitely the longest out of all of the books, and I love how fluffy this one is. And it's interesting, but it's turned into a lot more of like your YA stereotypical kind of rebellion story, like having to overthrow some evil kind of story, which I don't hate, but it kind of feels like, okay, I've seen this, I've done this, I know what's going to happen, more or less. And I can kind of guess what's going to happen. Like none of the plots are kind of newish. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it just yet. I'm like not hating it or anything, and like the writing's still great, so that's good. The characters are like enough, but I don't love them. And I think what I don't like at all is that like my favorite is Mirabella, who is the eldest triplet. She has been like told that she was going to be queen for a long time. She was raised as if she was already the queen. She is the strongest out of all the sisters, and she's an elemental queen, and she barely gets any page time, I guess is what I was going to say. Like she barely gets any page time in any of the books. It feels like nothing goes right for her, and I feel so bad for her because like, girl, well, what did she do? Like she did nothing wrong. And I wish I had more time with her, and kind of like I want her character to be developed more, because she feels like the flattest, the most like not thought put into her very much. Like I don't know what she likes, basically. I know she's got close friends, but I don't know what like she loves most in the world. I don't know what she likes to eat. I don't like know what she likes to do in her free time. Like I don't know anything about her. I just know that she's regal and royal and blah blah blah. That's like not interesting enough. Like I want her to know more of her in depth. So we shall see how it goes. But anyway, I am interested in seeing how this story develops and how it goes. After this, I kind of want to pick up Anna Dressed in Red, which is the other book by Kendara Blake that like everyone kind of knows about. It's more on the horror side, and since we are in October, like might as well. So I am going to do that at some point. I will update again hopefully once I've not finished it, but gone a bit more through it, seeing if I'm enjoying it a little bit more, because I don't know how to feel about it, and I don't know what to do with that. Also, let's take a moment for my nails. Like I, for the first time in my life, got acrylic nails, and I was so nervous. I didn't really know what they were doing. But I saw a picture of these and I was like, I want these. And I went very impulsive and just went to a salon and was like, can you replicate this picture? And they were like, yeah. So So I just wanted to come up here and wrap up this mix match of a vlog, because I went in and kind of looked around and see, like, just edited what I had, and it is so mix matchy. There is walks, but there's also me going out, and then I did travel a lot in between. It's just a jumbled kind of random clips of my life, so hopefully you don't mind, whoever watched this. It's more for fun for me. It's like a video diary, I guess. Then I also wanted to come up here and say that yes, I did finish the Three Dark Crowns series. Not the best. Overall I would call it a kind of mid-series. I did like the first book, and then it just went downhill from there. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like how everything wrapped up. There is a conclusive ending. Nothing's really odd. It did kind of go a very known route, I guess. Like, I know, like, you could tell what was gonna happen. The person who ends up being kind of like the main character wasn't my favorite, so I didn't really care that much about her. And this happened, like, I read this 2 months ago, so that's why I'm kind of like trying to recall everything. She was, I mean, it's a good series. I'm happy that I read it because it's been on my TBR for years. It's very popular. I don't regret it or anything. I just wish it was better, and that's probably why people stopped talking about it after the first book. But yes, so that's all I can say about that. I did read in the end the Anna Dressed in Blood duology thing. That was fun. I wasn't expecting that, and I had never really read a horror before, and I didn't really get scared at any point except for one scene. I remember being like, oh, I'm scared for these characters. I'm scared, like, oh my god, it's being narrated to me so well that I am freaking out a little bit. But that's about it. It wasn't really horror-ish other than that, but it was interesting. I'm glad I read that. I feel like it was a very product of its time. I remember a lot of YouTubers said that it was their favorite, like one of the books that they read a lot. I think it was like Books with Chloe liked that book a lot, so that was fun. And yeah, that's all I've got to say, really. Like, I read that, I liked it. I've read recently, which I'm not really going to cover it at all, but I did read the Girls of Paper and Fire? What's it called? Girls of Paper and Fire trilogy. Also enjoyed that, but kind of like 3-star. Like, nothing too crazy, I guess, is what I was going to say. And now I'm currently reading The Poppy War, and I absolutely adore this. I've only been, I'm 100, almost 200 pages in, and I still am really liking it so far. So that's what I'm reading now. At some point, I hope to come with you with a more structured vlog or something. This was kind of just a mixed match of a lot of months. Like, the first clip is in like June, July-ish, and then it's kind of just mix matching stuff from everywhere. So hopefully you don't mind too much. That's a lie, it's not June, July-ish, it's more like September. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed seeing a little bit snippets of my life here and there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!